Hello. Welcome back. We have Lord Slayer back again in the not Loggery Sale, but in the Lugdunum with Team Renowned Lugdunum, Bajoni, Loggery Sale, and a Gallant. Now, with at the time of this recording, we went into Tokyo Express, and we had more time to play, the previous Arctic Convoy. It wasn't bad. It was not bad at all. Overall, it was decent. The one thing I don't like about these ops is how they based them off the asymmetric mode with the 2 tiers lower. In this mode, Arctic Convoy, it makes sense. There's so many of them. Tokyo Express, on the other hand, not so much. That was just too easy. Even though it's still hard to pull off a 5-star. The wins are more consistent, in my honest opinion. And they're more easy. Like, you're almost guaranteed to win no matter what. Like, unlike this one, where it was kind of iffy. Like, it was so heavily dependent, like you needed a good team. And on Tokyo, I just feel like 2 players could literally carry a team if they really wanted to. And the one time I did play this on the test server with tier 9s, on this map exactly with Georgia, I actually ran into Overlord Bo playing it. And, well, it was very entertaining watching him play in Illinois, on and off. And I mean this with no disrespect, but stay in randoms. It was pretty bad. I mean, if I had to compare it without being overly critical, I would say it's like having a rando that doesn't know the op and is constantly moving their ship around instead of playing it objectively, like Toxic, Vader, Void, Slayer, myself, Rolkatsuki. Basically, anyone that's put a replay on my channel knows the op. Has learned the op, knows the op, is able to manipulate those numbers. And this was honestly all over the place.
Sometimes you just need a big hammer to fix things.
But I mean, just the double tier down, I don't like it. I think it's too easy. And going back to too easy, flagship ops versus normal ops. Normal ops are too boring now. They're boring. I am sorry to say, but normal ops have reached a boring point for me. Even Forgotten Void has said it. And even he, seconded my post on Discord saying, I second this, that normal ops are boring. And for probably the only 2 operations content creators, for them to both say this. And I mean, we both knew it. I mean, I played with Void and his crew, and, we had a blast. The times that I teamed up with his team was great. I had some of the best fun. I could throw on big boosters. I could farm my free XP. I definitely learned a lot, though. So definitely go over to his channel, Forgotten Void, and hop in his Discord server. There's definitely a lot that goes on those servers. There's definitely a lot of knowledge that can be gained. And to be honest, I barely hang out on my own server anymore. And I know that's pretty bad. I know that's bad, but I'll admit it. I'm not the best with technology. I'm 33 years old, I think.
Fire is more dangerous than
Maybe 32.
Put it out.
I don't know. I'm in my 30s. I'm old. And the reason I say that is I can barely work Instagram. I could never work Snapchat. I'm old-fashioned. I barely know it. I barely can remember how to use Facebook. Although, even though I deactivated my Facebook and I don't really miss it. I really don't. I'm just not a technical savvy guy.
Big hammer to fix things.
Even my Instagram page. I mean, I've enjoyed adding little small things, but I'm super selective of what goes on there. And I really haven't had anything really worth really putting on there. So anything that says, well, iffy. I don't know. But as far as Slayer's game goes, 116k and climbing, he's literally just leading his team to victory. I mean, at this point. He's literally tanking so much. He's still got all 5 heals though, and that's the good part. And I mean, going back to Forgotten Void and his crew, I actually learned something really interesting. The motorboats. They actually do splash damage when they blow up. Yeah, they will cause splash damage. And you will lose HP for that, if you're close enough to them. So, that's interesting. But it's also interesting because you have to keep in mind, Forgotten Void and Toxic Vader and them, they all have access, mainly Void and Toxic have access to information that I don't even have access to. And have access to different servers than I do. So, and I have a great respect for Toxic Sympathy. I really do. Extremely super nice guy. Probably is one of the nicest World of Warship players I have ever met. And I can say that for 2 reasons. He's got a phenomenal win rate in randoms at almost 70%. He knows how to play his ships. And I'll be honest. And I'm going to take a shot at my own clan. I'm going to take a shot at my own clan. I'm going to be honest. He's not like Bonk Z and some of the Bonks players that I've talked to. There's not that... There isn't that egotistical, I know everything, I'm better attitude. It's implied, but he never openly pushes it. He'll, from the times that I played with him, you know, he's never been like that. I mean, and that's something that I highly respect. I respect that. And I respect that so much because, and I think it was one of these, this last season of clan battles that was really irking me. You know, we were having a really tough time with, you know, the classified documents and everything. And well, every night, there was just one of the players kept coming from Bonks Z, I think it was, that kept coming down and honestly really berating us, saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need not to be afraid, you need, and I'm like, he's right to a point, but then there was a point at the very end when he was all like, well, they didn't make Typhoon because they didn't have their best players. and they've not been selective of their best players for like the last 2 seasons. That is one of the most pettiest, one of the most egotistical things I have ever heard. And it honestly makes sense because I've talked to a couple other players in Bonk Z and Bonk S, and I've heard some things. I can't confirm any of this, but from what I've heard, is a good majority of them are in like their 20s. And I think I've actually said that once, actually on the channel, that people in their 20s think they know everything. But the thing is, you know, Toxic has a 70% ring rate, but he isn't that kind of person. Even he and I agree where randoms are at. We both agree on that. And that's why we both don't touch him. Because Toxic started out similar to how I did. You know, when we both started out, skill was there. You needed skill. You needed to understand the game. And a player's individual skill was the difference between a win and a loss. Like my first Kraken was in a St. Louis, and I learned the game, and I managed to pull like a 7 kill in my St. Louis for my first Kraken, probably within my first 100 matches, maybe even less. And then, you know, I watched some YouTube videos like No Zoop and Nuts. I was in my Wyoming on I think the map is Dawn, and you know, we were losing. We had like 3 battleships pushing our base from the southern route, you know, where the sea cap is. And I was coming back from the north in my Wyoming, and I was able to slap all those battleships and turn the tide of the battle because I knew where their citadel was. You don't see that anymore in randoms. You don't see that. You don't see that anymore. And that, you know, that sense of, that leads to elitism. You're elitist, basically. And I honestly will say, I enjoy being in Bonky more than I probably would ever enjoy being in Bonk Z or Bonk S. I feel like there's that sense of radiates. And it only takes one player, let's be honest. And it, you know, this thing, it goes in customer service and everything. You know what they always tell you? It takes one person to make a whole reputation back. Like one negative outweighs the positives. It only takes one person to ruin it all for the rest of them. So I'm going to call that player out. Chuck, shut the hell up and mind your own damn business. Like seriously, shut your mouth. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. But as far as Slayer's game is going, Slayer's probably one of the most nicest guys I've ever met. And I've only conversed with him over his emails, over my email. And he's a pretty nice guy. He knows what he's doing. He's a super nice guy. He always sends me something being like, with, you know, I know his real name and everything, and he always sends something like a couple pictures of his screenshot, and then he sends, you know, a little explanation. Hey, it's this and this, and I can just get that aura. I can pick up on that in that sense, that energy, and I can tell a good person. And Slayer comes across as one of those good people. And a lot of you might wonder why most of Rolkatsuki's videos end up on the channel. And I would like to also clarify that why for any new users too, or new subscribers. Rolkatsuki was the one that actually made the channel icon. He was very nice when I was first starting my channel. He was actually nice enough to actually work and create a logo for me. And in return, I gave him priority uploads all the time. And I still have deep respect for that. I still remember that. And I still have a great, you know, admiration for the small. I may not have as many as Forgotten Void with like, what is it, like 320, I think last I checked. But I mean, he's worked hard. He's worked hard. He's earned it. I only have about half that, and I'm happy. Because it still meant a lot when, you know, I was in my retirement phase after my breakup. And, you know, you guys all stayed around. Matt, you didn't have to. I acknowledge that. And that's something I definitely do treasure. So I have to send it out again to my community. Thanks again for staying around. And if you really want to know, please comment in the comments below if you want something. I haven't forgotten about the Austin DPM video. I still am working on that one. Austin's just one of those ships that I'm just really that I'm still trying to learn. And I'd like to kind of run maybe 2 or 3 Austins, honestly, at the same time with a similar and just have a DACA build. But I am still working on the Austin one. I will be honest though, I do have a lot of tech lines coming out. I have been making a ton of, I think I've got probably like 6 to 8 tech line videos that are needing to be uploaded. I've got some reviews coming out. I've got quite a bit coming out. So the next few months, I've set you up with some pretty decent content. Now, Lord Slayer, going back to Mr. Slayer, he is at 300k now and 17 kills. Not the best. He's used up all of his heals, and, well, he's not doing too well. He's got a permanent fire that's probably, what is that about? I can't really tell. I mean, I'd say, what is that, about 30, 35 seconds? Maybe 20 at this point. Plus, he's taking armor piercing to the side. Wins. I think that fire would have came exceptionally close to killing him. Like, I really do think that. Now, let's look at the damage. 318k and 318k. I've never seen that. That's just so funny. I've seen that number. Now he pulls over 1 million credits and a nice 29k or 29k basically in free XP. 19 kills. Top of the team with 2335. Leon B. Jr. second. Poor Gallant is on the bottom. I feel bad for him. Although you did see, based on, you know, the icon and everything, it did seem like he did DCP for a little bit there. Because that orange icon did appear that he did DCP a little. So that's unfortunate. A wonderful amount of credits and a nice 28k in free XP. And a nice haul in Commander XP. But a really good game for Slayer.